And I'm live. Welcome to these next 5 days that you may or may not have signed up for, but here they are. Stay tuned. This is on this YouTube channel to help you create a living by just being yourself. So that's the overall topic. I want to show you in the next 5 days of 5 episodes of this business coaching how you can, in just 5 days, start creating a living by just being yourself. Operative word, creating. So creating a new experience in your life where you actually make a living just being yourself. So that entails working with sales, very different than you may have been used to, or you may have known were options on how to sell. That might have looked like picking up the phone, calling. It might look like different things. I'm going to teach you how to do sales and marketing different than you ever realized it could be, more fun, more natural. And in just 5 days, you can start your own business teaching people whatever it is you have to give them. And you do not need to be an expert. That's the main thing. You don't need to be an expert in anything other than being yourself. So stay tuned with me as I go into this. So this is day one, called discovery. So discovery is about not looking, but realizing and finding out. So usually people think, I need a website, I need a this, I need that. You don't need a website to start creating a living by just being yourself, and you're doing it online the way I teach you, but you do not need a website. So that's number one. So you may have this course in your head on how to start a business or how to start an online business. You don't need your own website yet, not at all. I'm 3 years in, I don't even have a website. It's not necessary. I have something else called a landing page, which I'm going to show you how to build in these 5 days. But first, I want to talk to you about something inside your head, more of mindset training. But I will show you the exact steps and what to do. There are very few action steps you need to do to start your online business and start making a living just being yourself. So you don't need to sell things. You can sell things. That's great. If you're in network marketing, this is perfect for you. If you've wanted to get started, but you just never got started, this is perfect for you. So stay tuned with me if you're in that category. If you already have a business, but you're burned out and you don't have time for yourself, stay with me, because the model I'm going to teach you actually allows you, and it sounds so savvy, but it really is true, to work 1 hour per week. Of course, we work more because we tap into something that doesn't feel like work. So that's how I work and operate. I walk in the forest, I jump in the ocean, and I do Facebook Lives. And more importantly, I do messages on my phone to my people, and I send it out in an email flow to them so they can listen to my content that I create whilst I'm walking in the woods and doing my most important work is to take care of myself. So if you're in the last category, you have a business, but you're burned out, you don't have enough time, maybe you're doing healing or physical treatments, touching people, and it's one-on-one and you're just burned out, stay with me. I want to help you. So 3 categories of people that I'm talking to. Network marketing, selling products. I have something for you where you sell very, very different and you'll be very successful and you won't scare people away. You've never gotten started, but you want to get started. You think you need a website. You think you need different things to get started. You do not. And exactly the number one mistake people make is to sit and fiddle with a website or a logo, thinking they need to prepare something. Not true. I'll show it to you what to do. And the third category is if you are in business, you're maybe brick and mortar, people go into your shop, into your place, or into a treatment center. You do yoga, healing, all these varieties of helping people by being with them one-on-one or one-to-many. Stay with me. I'll show you how to use the tools that are available already, technical tools that are free or low cost to start your online business. But first, I want to talk to you about discovery. What does this word mean, discovery? Why is it so important? So here's how I look at it. If you look for something, it disappears. If you look for something, you're looking like this. But when you discover, you realize, wow, this was always here. So you have your whole lifetime of experience. You don't need another course. That's my thing. You don't need a website. You don't need another online course because you know how to be you. So I wouldn't call it listen to me for 5 days and do what I tell you and do the small action points that you need to do. And then you're ready to go to have this experience yourself and sit with people on your own that are following you for 5 days. So that's essentially what you do concretely is you do your own 5 days with people that you invite to. But I'm going to get back to that. That's the nuts and bolts of it. But the reason why discovery is so important is tied into the sentence I heard Bob Proctor say: heaven's first law is order. So brief introduction. I should have done that in the beginning. This is live for the first time in this training live on YouTube. So my name is Samantha Kiergaard Poulsen. I changed it in 2019. I was also called, my name is also Amanda Maya Haywood, but I changed it. I was curious. So you may know me under two names. That's what I have. A little confusing at times, but when I coach and I'm online, it's just Samantha. And I started my business career already in my 20s. I knew I had a sight or a special insight into business, a special skill set. I started when I was 20. I had a student job in the call center of Orange, which is a tele company here in Europe, a big one, telecommunication company, phone company, right? And I was studying at CBS at the time, Copenhagen Business School, very competitive program that I got into. And on my first day on this job, where I was just a student employee, I figured out that they needed something called retention. Like when customer call in to cancel, at that time, as this was 23 years ago, you didn't have that. And I just knew on my first listening in on somebody's call that they needed that. And it was something I was engaged in already. I've been studying on my own, something called CRM, customer relationship management. So I ran up top to the top bosses. I actually got them to implement not only retention, a retention center where you actually try to keep the customers you already have because you've paid so much in advertisement and marketing to get the client. You really earn a lot the more you can keep a client. As a matter of fact, you can earn millions if you just increase what's called the retention rate by like 30 days. So if you keep all your customers 30 days longer, you'll make millions of dollars if you're a huge telecommunication company or insurance company. So I've done some projects on this. So I ran up and I got them to implement retention, but I also got them to implement sales in the customer service department. So a lot of people were a little bit angry about that. They didn't want to do sales. They want to do inbound calls, which is different than selling, right? So I didn't have, I got some people that weren't, very fond of me. But the big guy was the head of customer service department, was very, very fond of me. And I got recognized by the board of Orange because they were being introduced on the CAC, which is the French stock exchange. And the fact that I helped drive them to do this transition and implement sales into their customer service department made what's known as a cost unit into a profit unit. And it means a lot to a big business, and especially when you're going public. But that's enough business jargon. I just want to tell you that I'm really good at business coaching. There's lots of stuff I don't know how to do in life, but I can get you started. And I'm really, really good at the business part of things. And you're really good at whatever you're doing. And I see so many brilliant people, so many people with lots of gifts and talents that you just don't know how to start. So listen to me if you want to get started, if you're already started and you want to have more free time, you want to make more money, but ultimately you want to transform more lives. You want to transform more people's lives, and you want to transform their lives more so they don't go back. That's ultimately the game we're in, right? We want to transform people's life experience. And that's what I want to do these next 5 days, is to transform the experience that you have. That's why discovery is such a good word. So you get to discover that what you're actually here for on planet Earth. What are you meant to do here? What is the natural gifts that you actually have? What can you start talking about already? What is your story? So first of all, discovery versus looking for and finding is when you relax. So relaxation is really important. But then again, action is what moves you forward and gives you a new experience. So what I'm going to teach you these 5 days with the action points I have for you is that you get to experience something new in your life. You get to invite people to sit in Zoom, not on Facebook, not on a YouTube Live, but in Zoom together with people for 5 days. So you have that experience of what it's like to do something like that or do a Facebook Live. That's also on the program for people to do. If you've never done a Facebook Live, it is an amazing new experience waiting for you. And the reason it's amazing and the reason it's important is because you get feedback. So action is important because action creates a reaction. It's Newton's law, right? Action creates feedback. So when you show up on the Facebook Live or YouTube Live, if you're jumping into that like me, you will get feedback. Maybe feedback nobody's watching, but on a Facebook Live, you most likely get feedback from friends and family who actually get a value out of seeing you. So you need to show up a new experience and get feedback. That's the action part. If we don't show up, if we don't do that action that we're scared of, we get no reaction. We don't transform lives. We don't transform our own lives either. That's why action is so important. That's the thing I can help you with, action. Another missing piece I found in my life was relaxing, to be at ease and at peace. And you're not at ease and peace when you're doing your Facebook Live for the first time. You're really nervous, but you do it anyway because you want the feedback. So do the action and don't worry so much about the relaxing part. It will come when you do this business model that I'm going to teach you, which is actually a model that you can put anything into, and then you start duplicating yourself. That's the model. Then you do things one time and it continues to serve more and more people automatically. That's what I'm going to show you. That's the nuts and bolts of how you do this. That's the technical part, the tools that are already available. You do not need a website. You need what's called a landing page. But just want to make sure that this whole term of discovery kind of just sits with you. So the way I look at it is, if you see everything, if you need to prepare everything and see all the steps ahead of you, you're not creating, you're repeating. So there's a place where it's completely dark, or it's like, it doesn't even have to be dark. It just, something can happen in your life. Oof, it just happened. You had no anticipation or expectation of it. It just happened. And that's something, that's what you discover, right? But if you're sitting there micromanaging and preparing, like I started my first IT company when I was 23. And then I started another one when I was 27. I was in investment banking and a very driven millionaire. And I found out I couldn't be a millionaire when I'm employed. So I started my second IT company where we actually developed the IT. So when we went out to clients, we had huge brands and Danish consumer brands like Lay's chips and stuff like that. But if we had built every single field in the IT system, we would have built it wrong, because you don't want to sit and build. You want to have something and show it to your customers, show it to your people, do the Facebook Live, share your story, then get feedback. You want to take in feedback and then adapt your service to that feedback from the actual users. You don't want to sit and do everything beforehand, because then you're playing God the wrong way. That's what I mean about discovery, is that you leave it up to higher powers, but you set your intention and you're willing to go through the dark and scary places where you don't know anything. You're not supposed to see the steps. You're supposed to take them. And then that's how you discover a new path. And you put one foot in front of the other in darkness, and it will light up as you put your foot down, and then you'll see something new. You will discover something. You will experience something. And it's very, very different from planning and looking and preparing and controlling. That's the relaxation part, maybe, that you just allow and see, because it's already there. There are so many things and signs, and God or whoever you believe in shows us the way, but we don't discover it because we're looking at it like this. Where's the money on my account? This is not working, or whatever it is. So discover is a really important term. And heaven's first law is order. That's what I was starting to talk about when I remembered I've forgotten to introduce myself. That was Bob Proctor who told me those words, and they really stuck with me because it's my truth already. So there is something about that phrase, heaven's first law is order. And the way I look at it, of course, nice that it's orderly around you, it is sequence. So it's the order in which you do things. So the reason you shouldn't start out getting a website is because it doesn't serve anybody. You don't need a website. You need a client. I'm going to show you how to get a client. I'm going to show you how to be of service in just 5 days. It may not be a client that pays you, but you get to experience what it's like to sit and serve people, and you get feedback. You get to experience that people get value from just being together with you. But it's very important that you then realize that you just need to be you. You don't need to know anything new. You don't need to do anything. Particularly, you don't need another online course, because you know how to be you. But you've never thought about the fact that you can make a living out of just being you. But you can, because it's very rare that people actually share their beep with the world. So you don't need to be an expert, but you need to dare to show and tell your inner emotions, but in a way that serves people. And it really serves people when you're 100% honest about your own beep, SHIT, which rhymes with make a living out of it. So share your and make a living out of it. That's what you can do because it provides value for other people to realize that they're not alone. So you're not talking to